Lyndsey from 93X talking to Godsmack. That's Shannon and Sully here at Northern Invasion 2017. And here to make some noise later this afternoon, boys. How excited are you to be in Wisconsin, where it's not snowing right now in May?
Thank God.
Yeah,
he doesn't have that problem. I'm more grateful, I would say.
You never know in May. It could be awful. It could be amazing. Today just happens to be an amazing night of rock, and I think a very special one that I'm talking to you today, because you boys are about to embark on your 20th year as Godsmack in 2018, right?
2018, yeah.
And I read that you're going to bring the original album back to its entirety, and that's your plan.
We don't know that yet, though. That's been circulating because I opened my mouth a little bit soon. But as we get deeper into writing this new record, that may change. So we're not making any promises on that yet.
No promises. Good. Well, then you set the record straight.
But what we can promise you is that it's going to be our 20th year anniversary.
20 years,
That's
man.
not changing.
It's crazy. Sometimes, have you ever looked in the mirror and you look at yourself and you go, whoa, I've done that before.
I look in the mirror and look at myself and go, I'm old.
I actually looked in the mirror not too recently. I go, whoa, when did I become my dad? When did that happen?
I think it's interesting because you boys got in at a time where, before the internet really blew up, and I think changed the way we make, create, and disseminate rock music. You've got some loyal there's been so many Godsmack shirts throughout the day today at Northern Invasion, and your fans have changed and they aged with you, and now you're bringing in new fans. How has the music industry changed now, and do you think it's easier today or much difficult than when you boys started?
Yeah, I feel sorry for new bands coming out because it's changed so much in that, it used to be you would get your band together and you would build a following in the clubs, and then you would get the major labels out or the labels out to come and see you and hope to get a deal. And then, it was more organic to me. But, as far as like we heard someone tell us that where it's going is streaming. And soon you won't even download a record anymore. You just sign up to a Spotify or whatever.
What's going viral right now is a video you guys made back in 2012 with your Come Together, song, your cover of it. Can you tell me how that just saw the light of day now?
Some dude.
Yeah, I think some dude did an article on it from some online magazine, and it started trending on Facebook 6 years later.
Victory!
I literally have friends because I had hair down to here and a beard.
Yeah, they don't
And
recognize
I've
you.
been friend. Yeah, so who's drumming on that video? And I'm like, that's me, man.
That was just kind of a funky little project you did back in the day, and it's kind of, it's okay. You'll accept it now. It's a good little buffer. It's a little single you can put out right now while you said you're working on a new album.
Yeah, it keeps them warm while we're working on the new record.
Right.
Yeah, and what that was actually was we put out a live record, our first live record, Live and Inspired, and Sully wanted to put some extra bonus stuff on there because all the stuff's already on the previous record. So we all just picked a bunch of cool songs, and never thought that 6-7 years later one would blow up. So it's nice.
Is that the plan then for the summer? Is to settle on that cover of Come Together and then get together for the big? Well, we won't say anything yet, but the big year in 2018, right?
It's not like we're settling. It just kind of happened organically, and it's just happening. So
accept it, yeah.
It's not like we went and spent a bunch of money marketing radio with it or whatever. It just was one of those things, like you said. We're in a new era with the internet and social media and all that stuff, and that's where it is. It's kind of conform or starve. And so, it's funny. Shannon was mentioning earlier how back in the day, it was about building a following, getting a buzz going, attracting record labels, hopefully getting a deal. And then, but that's because we're still old school and we miss those days of vinyl, and we miss the days of like how it was done, and how you would make a record and experience the whole album, where now it's back to kind of singles and things like that. On the flip side of things, it's changing again, I think, where kids, he's saying like, oh, I feel bad for bands coming up nowadays. But then again, they have this amazing tool called the internet. And so
they're finding you again.
You know what I mean?
You have a new generation of fans.
Well, not just us, but I'm saying even if they're a startup band, they have ways now to put a song on the internet themselves, and someone could click a button in Egypt and they could have their song. And so they could, if they have the right material, if they're the right kind of band and it's trends, it's going to trend worldwide, which is a lot bigger of a chance of them having 10 times the success we could have. And this, I mean, as you know, this kid's doing stupid YouTube sprays painting their faces, and they have 10 million followers and their own bodyguards now, and they get paid.
Well, I just talked to a band earlier today, a band called I Prevail out of Detroit, who they put out like a Taylor Swift cover 2 years ago to the blank space, and that was it. It was putting out that viral video, and they said, you know what, we don't even mind, because now we can release our original material, and YouTube really worked out for them in that case.
And the funny thing about the singles is, when rock and roll first started out, it was just singles, and then you would put Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, and 3 other bands, Buddy Holly and the Crickets, and they would all go and tour together, and they would only play 4 songs each, because that was their singles that they had, And so now it seems to be reverting back
That's
to
what we're trying to do. 4 songs.
That's it. Good night.
Work less, get paid more. That's the American dream, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a little bit of work, man. I really enjoy the cover in the meantime. While we wait on new material, when is it going to weird you out when some band decides to cover Godsmack? So you're covering Aerosmith's cover of.
We've seen Godsmack cover bands, like tribute bands that try and look like it. It's funny.
But I want them to, take a single for a ride, and then, in 15 years, you're like, this is it. This is the next generation covering Godsmack. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your set tonight. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Thank you.
At 93X.